Today is day 49. I've taken a couple days off from the videos because I've been in Atlanta. It's been busy, but man, it's been cool. I've had a really good time in Atlanta so far. Got in on Monday. Today's Thursday, so we got in on day 46. Because I know days of the week probably don't mean anything for anybody that's ever going to watch this. Anyway, so got into town. It was a real quick, easy ride from Dallas, which is where we were. We were taking the Chief Ladiga Trail, and then when we got to Georgia, it turned into the Silver Comet Trail. We were able to take that all the way from Anniston, Texas, or Anniston, Alabama, to essentially Atlanta. I mean, you kind of cut off in the suburbs, but yeah, that was sweet. That was an awesome trail. Pretty nice ride, and it was the first time since like San Diego that I've actually seen tourists on bicycles. So there were other people that were like actually going long distances on their bike that we saw on the trail, which is a cool sign because it means that we are not in like some crazy, incredibly hot places anymore. Weather's been pretty good. It hasn't been nearly as hot as like the past 8 weeks or however long it's been. I guess like 6 weeks, but whatever. And it's been all right. It's still hot, but the humidity has definitely dropped down a decent amount since we headed up north away from the Gulf Coast. And Atlanta's having a nice little, I guess, cooling trend, you could almost say right now. So yeah, it's about 90 degrees with low humidity, which is not bad at all. And so we've been chilling here. This is our third day off, our last day off before we start picking up camp and heading out. Spent the first 2 nights with a long-lost relative who I'd like never seen before, didn't even know existed until I left on the trip, and that was cool. She was over by a little 5 Points, and then we were there for 2 nights, and now we're chilling in this like pretty legit, like real sweet apartment that is in the middle of Midtown, downtown Atlanta. And I mean, you can see the view out their window. It's awesome. It's a great location. It's right next to the baseball field and right next to everything else that we're trying to go see, and bike shops aren't too far away, all that good stuff. Speaking of bike shops, had to get my wheel fixed up. Long story short, it cost me a lot less money than I thought it was going to cost, and I'm good to go now. But I'm glad I went in because as I mentioned before, like the wheel was kind of starting to wobble, and I didn't even notice, but I broke a spoke somewhere along the way, and a couple of the other ones were loose, so I'm glad I could get that fixed up, and it's all good to go. Got my first flat tire since, I think, basically Austin. So that was a nice little run with no flat tires, and I'm hoping that, I don't know, they seem to come in waves, unfortunately, so hopefully I don't start to get a whole bunch of flat tires, but we'll see what happens. Baseball's been good. Went to 3 games already, got 1 more tonight. Got to see all the games of the 4 games of the Giant Series here. It's been sweet. Tickets have been cheap. Last night we got tickets for like $3 each on StubHub, which was awesome. Tonight's bobblehead night. Excited about that. Definitely had to mail a bobblehead or 2 home. And yeah, it was a little rough first 2 games. We got beat on walk-off home run, or not home runs, but hits, and it was just bad. But we won last night, and we got Timmy going tonight, and so I think we got a good chance to split the series. But anyway, after that, we'll head out tomorrow morning, finally leave Atlanta, and we'll be heading towards D.C. That's our next big city. So I think we're going to kind of push it, try to get to D.C., and I think we're aiming for about 10 days. So that's about 80 miles a day. We're going to go D.C., and then before we get there, then we're going to stop in Virginia Beach. And that'll be the official end of the, cross-country part of the trip. And then, I think, we're just going to keep going for a little bit at least and see how far we can go before we get tired. At least that's my plan. I know Blake has been having some job interviews over the phone, and he's trying to figure out what he's going to do in his life. But I think his plan is to come to D.C. with me. Then he's probably going to take a train up to New York and see if he can get some job interviews up there. But anyway, that's where we're at. It's been awesome. Trip's definitely been evolving, changing, progressing, whatever you want to say. It's just, it's crazy to think that we've been on the road for almost 50 days, and yeah, wow, this is nuts. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun. So we're gonna go check out some of the sites in Atlanta today. Hit up the Giants game, chill with our couch surfers, and hit the road towards Virginia Beach, D.C. All right, later.